You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. I was in the hallway just about to come in to start the show, and Malik Nabers walked off the elevator. I said, well, you're coming on air with me now for a segment. So LSU wide receiver Malik Nabers entering his sophomore season with the Tigers joins us here in studio to start the show. How are you, man?
Doing good.
Tomorrow's the day, huh?
Yes, sir.
So you'll report tomorrow, start practice on Thursday. How do you feel right now compared to a year ago at this time?
All right, so a year ago, coming in, from a lot of the older guys, you get heard about fall camp. Fall camp is 2 weeks of work, just football. So my freshman year, I was kind of like, scared a little bit, didn't know what I was getting into. But when I really got into it, it was really fun. It was fun competing with the team and just never had to worry about nothing but just football. I mean, when I was talking with Jack and Nussmeyer today, we were just so pumped about going back at it in fall camp because, that's really like when you lock into football and you really show your talent to everybody. So we're really pumped about this one.
You transitioned really easily as a freshman. Not everybody does it, especially at some of the skill spots, right? But, man, played in 11 games, started 6 times as a freshman. Last time you were here, we talked about the touchdown catch against Kentucky, which was, we'll see that on loop forever. But in what ways do you think you're more comfortable coming out of this fall camp? You talked a little bit about sort of the feeling, but on field, how do you think you're going to be maybe more comfortable starting this year as to how long it might maybe took you to get comfortable last year?
Right, so freshman year coming out, the game was really fast. Like when I first got in my game, the first game I played, I came back in Central Michigan. That's after I hurt myself. And I messed up on the first play of the game.
What did you do?
I did the wrong route. Like I ran the route maybe like 10 times in practice, but I messed up on this one. I don't know how. Just my mind was going so much around. But when I started like actually playing more and got into the game started slowing down, and I really saw the signals more. I understand where to be at the right time. But this year is like I'm focused on more learning coverages so I can, do a route that's the same distance but don't look the same. Like just reading coverages more, getting with my QB, just understanding where I can be. Like if the defense do this, then do this. Well, we're just trying to get the routine right now.
Wait, so what was the route? You said it was against Central Michigan?
Yeah.
So what was the route?
So the route was I had a hitch.
Okay.
And I ran like an arrow. That's when I caught the ball on the sideline when Max was trying to throw it out. I wasn't supposed to be right there.
So was he throwing the ball away?
Yeah, he was.
And you just happened to be on the sideline.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes those are beautiful mistakes, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it happens that way.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the off-season work as well with Coach Flint. Obviously, last year you were with Coach Moffitt. New staff comes in. What was it like working with Coach Flint this offseason?
This offseason has been like more like I can actually like see my body getting to change more, like from supplements, from eating right. They got Dr. Frakes in there. He's making sure my body weight is where I want it to be, like my muscle mass, everything like they more critique on our player health than, what we can do on the field, like what I'm saying, like they want to make sure we're better as a human and as a player than just coming out lifting buku weights, we're trying to get faster, stronger, just building relationships as they go. Also.
So how much do you weigh?
I weigh 195.
What were you last year?
189.
Okay, so you put on about 6 pounds of muscle. Have you grown any height?
Yeah, I go maybe like 2 inches.
You've grown 2 inches?
Yeah.
So if I measured you barefoot, what would you be right now?
Probably like 6'2".
6'2", 190.
Yeah.
All right, man. Freshman All-SEC a year ago. Now looking to build on that, moving into year 2. Have you done a lot of work? Have the receivers done a lot of work on the field with the quarterbacks in the summer?
Yes, a lot. Like this year has been like more critique on getting the receivers on point with the QB because we got a lot of QBs.
Yeah, you got 4 guys,
and we don't know like who's gonna be playing. So whichever QB start, like we have to be on pace. Like we just can't go in we never worked out with this QB, so we have no excuses.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to work with Miles last year at all? Because he got injured right before fall camp.
Yeah, I got to work with him because I was basically in the summer because I was getting thrown in with the ones, thrown in with the threes. It was all they were just trying to make me catch up faster. So I got maybe I wouldn't say as much as I got with Nuss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Max, I got a lot with those two. But when Miles got hurt, I never really, got to go with him. Yeah.
Malik Nabers in the studio with us for a couple of minutes here. Louisiana National Bank, you'd be doing some NIL work with them, ln.bank, where you can learn more about them and the work that they're doing. I want to ask you about the quarterbacks, though. What would have been sort of your impressions? You mentioned you got to work with Garrett last year. Have you noticed a transformation? You guys came in the same class, so year 1 to year 2 transformation?
More confidence, I would say. Like he's a dog. Like whenever we go through, it's like he's a dog. Like the places he put the ball, like when he's rolling out, is crazy to say he's that young. Like he impresses me as a quarterback when he throws me the ball, and I'd be like, man, like this is crazy just to watch him throw the ball, like rolling out, how hard. It doesn't matter how hard, like the accuracy he puts on, like he understands like the defense. He tells me where to go. Like he tells me like the DB right here do that, and I'd be like on point. Like it just be the connection be just on spot. What
about working with Miles?
So Miles, like when I actually started working with Miles, it's been this year. I really never really like actually work with Miles like one-on-one like I do with Garrett and Jaden. But as far as Miles, he puts the ball like in places too, like you never would thought, like in defenses like you never would really think about.
Yeah, big dude, big arm.
Yeah.
And then Jaden is and Walker obviously here as well, but I think most people probably understand Walker's going to take a red shirt. He'll play if need be, but I think he's content to take the red shirt. But Jaden is interesting because we're all just learning him as well. We got to see him play at Arizona State, played a bunch, but he showed up like right before spring. Right. So, I mean, he showed up and it's like, hey, here's spring practice. So, what stands out to you about Jaden Daniels? If I said, hey, describe him as a quarterback, what stands out?
So when he first got here, I really watched him like at Arizona State, and I was like, he got pretty good arm talent and can roll out, can run with the ball if needed. So just watching him like come into our offense and just sit back in the pocket and throw the ball. Like we never really seen him run a lot during spring. Like we almost just seen him like launch it. Like he got pretty good arm talent, and it's crazy to watch him and Gary like and Miles go at it in practice. Like they just be connection, just be amazing.
Yeah. So you mentioned though, like in spring, we didn't really get to see Jaden run. Right. I mean, you're not going to let your quarterback run and get hit in spring. So that'll be interesting to watch when fall camp gets started. A couple more minutes here with Malik Nabers. I think everyone roundly talks about the receiver group as the most talented group on the team. Certainly on the offense, defensive line has been big on the defensive side. I don't want to say worry. I'm trying to think of a different word, but are there enough targets to go around for everybody?
Yeah, I think like there's enough passes to go around because like we got different formations, like 11 personnel, 10 personnel. They switch out. I go outside, Jack go inside, Kyron come in, then we all go back to like Keyshawn, me, Jere. Like we all in rotation, so it's not really like this person getting feeded more than this person. I mean, if you open, then you open.
Got two more. One would have been your impressions of Brian. I told you before we're off air. We're at SEC Media Days a couple of weeks ago. You said you'd like to maybe do that next year, possibility. Yeah. I asked everybody at Media Days that I interviewed this question because I'm just curious everybody's impression. What have been your impressions of Brian Kelly so far, if you've gotten to know him really much at all?
So when I first really got to understand Brian Kelly was at I think it was official visits was the day, and he came. He talked to all the previous freshmen that was there. Talking about building this relationship with us guys during the official visits. And he's like a pretty comedian. Like every time.
Oh really?
Every time I see him, he always crack jokes like with me, and we be going back and forth, and we always have good laughs.
Be real though, like he tries to tell jokes, but his jokes aren't that good.
No, like sometimes I be thinking his jokes is serious because his face be so serious, and then he just toughen up, man. It's just a joke, and I be like, because I be taking it, serious because his face be so serious.
That's the thing. Like I tell people, like he's looser than most. My read on him so far is he's looser than most people think because you think externally this guy from Boston, Northeast, kind of really intense, kind of hard. But I think every time he's been loose and easy to talk to, but he loves to tell jokes. His jokes just aren't that good. What about Cortez Hankton, your receiver coach? What's that relationship been like?
Coach Hankton, it's like my dog. Like I go talk to him once like every day, just about just like life, like and what his experience was when he played college, what his experience was when he went to the league. So it's like another person that I can, look up to just to, like he did all the things that I did. He may have not played at the higher level in college that I played at and playing at, but he understands, he's been a coach around previous players that went to the league. So he understands, like, if I can listen to him and what he tells me, then he can help me forward in the future.
Do you think, last thing, and Malik Nabers is with us again on behalf of Louisiana National Bank, Uncommon Banking, online at ln.bank. I'm very glad that you were just hanging out in the hallway. I'm glad to get to chat with you before you all start camp. Obviously, the last 2 seasons around here weren't up to everybody's standard.
Right.
What do you all talk about when you talk about expectation for this team and for this season?
We say it all the time, graduate champions. Like, that's our main focus, is to graduate as a champion. Like, if we win a national championship right now, the freshmen will graduate a champion. Like, it's gonna be previous, and onto generation. And we can help, like, other people come in as freshmen to come in. Because, like, when Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Joe Burrow won the championship, it all focused on LSU. Like, we wanted to go to LSU to win a championship. So when we start doing that, other players can be like, okay, they won a championship, I want to be a part of that. So, it's graduating players now and graduating players on that's coming.
I love it. Malik Nabers. Does anybody ever get you and BJ confused when you're wearing the 8s on the field?
All the time. All the time.
We were looking at the roster, and we were trying to figure out what – because it will happen inevitably. There will be an announcer that looks at the multiple numbers and will mess up. They'll say BJ Ojulari on a catch, or they'll give you credit for a sack or something like that. I don't know. I mean, you at 6'3", 190. How big does BJ go?
Oh, BJ big.
He's a big dude.
Big.
Now, I saw him a couple weeks ago without pads on. He's thick. It would be hard to mess that one up, but I'm sure it'll happen. Hey man, good luck this season. Good health to you. We'll be pulling for it, man. We appreciate you jumping. I know you didn't plan to do this, but I'm glad you're here. So thanks for popping in with us. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.